Migration and Visa with another relationship and application timeline case study video for you, walking you through a recently approved partner visa case that we've handled here internally so that you can compare your relationship facts to this couple and get an idea and a feel for what couples typically have done prior to a partner visa being submitted and how long applications might be actually taking. I do find that the published averages you see on the government website isn't really what we're seeing in the industry. It's not an accurate reflection of how long applications are typically taking, particularly those onshore. Offshore is a lot more variable, but onshore it's quite consistent. So hopefully these relationship and application timeline videos give you a more realistic gauge on how long an application might take if it's submitted. Ultimately, though, I can't predict how long your applications are going to take, but this is just some information and objective data for you to kind of look through. So this one's an interesting one. It's a cool one. This is a double grant, a dual grant, where the visa applicant was granted both the temporary and permanent visa together. And we'll walk through why in a second, but that's something that does come up in terms of common partner visa questions is, how do I get the double grant, the dual grant? Generally speaking, the simplest answer to that question is that it requires that you and your partner, the applicant and the sponsor, have been together for a particular period of time. Generally it's 3 years as a de facto or married couple, or 2 years if there's a child of the relationship as well. Now that's not 3 years together, that's 3 years as de facto or married, meaning that the couple likely would have been together, exclusively as in dating well prior to that. And that's likely what you'll see in this timeline. Okay, so this is the double grant. This application was submitted on the 15th of June, 2022, and approved on the 18th of November, 2022. So approved in 5 months. There's the snippet of the approval as proof, as always, to demonstrate this is an authentic application. So 5 months processing. We received a request for information about a month prior to the finalization. So generally, that's going to be medicals or police clearances that we might have received a request for. Once that was finalized, actioned, the application was then granted. Both applications were granted by the government a month later. So that's an indicator of how long applications can be finalized after the completion of a request for information. Common question. This is an example of how long this case took. Let's kind of work backwards from there. Okay. These guys met a really long time ago. February 2006, started dating exclusively in March 2006, introduced a family back in 2006, introduced to the other family 2007, started living together in September 2013, okay, opened overseas joint accounts. This couple lived overseas in 2013, started living together then, in September 2013, opened overseas joint accounts in March 2021. So a bit of a gap there, but you don't need to be that granular and that specific in your timelines if you've been together for this long. Nominated each other as their beneficiaries to their policies that's going to be 2011, I suspect. Arranged wills in 2015. Okay, so they had already a large kind of percentage of their core facts already in place well before they engaged our services. I mean, this couple engaged our services in March 2021. They moved to Australia to be together. So from memory, the applicant was overseas. Typically, the Australian sponsor was here. The applicant was able to come in, apply in April 2022. We ensured that they opened up Australian joint accounts. We applied for a civil union just to be safe in May 2022, and then the application was submitted in June 2022. And like I said, eventually finalized a few months later. Now, this couple, the applicant was granted the double grant, meaning that they accepted that this couple, this applicant, was in a de facto relationship for at least 3 years prior to lodgement. So we have date of application, June 2022. They would have assessed that this applicant was in a de facto relationship with this partner in June 2019. Okay. And if you look back at their timeline, June 2019, they had already been living together, joint financials, a well-established long-term relationship for several years prior to that. So realistically, there wasn't too much risk in this person not getting the double grant, but ultimately it's not a guaranteed thing. But in this case, thankfully, it was. So as a summary, And this applicant held a passport from Hong Kong, just for a bit more context. This couple met approximately 196 months prior to lodgement, long time. Started dating exclusively 195 months prior to lodgement. Started cohabitating approximately 100 months prior to lodgement. Pooling finances for over a year prior to lodgement. Arranged wills 88 months prior to lodgement. And we're in a civil union for 30 days prior to lodgement. So civil union was very short in length prior to applying, but that doesn't matter because of their overall relationship facts. Something I've said in other videos is if there's a spectrum of strength for relationship history and timeline, I would absolutely put these guys right at the top in terms of very strong case. Not so much a concern about meeting the requirements. It's more about most likely the uncertainty around the double grant than anything else. But even so, I mean, these guys were always in with a really, really good chance of getting the double grant because of their facts. It was just about proving them, So you can have great facts, but you need to prove them. And that's something I do talk about in the Partner Visa Secrets training. It's a free Partner Visa course available inside this Partner Visa Secrets Facebook group. You can go have a look at the modules in the modules section, I believe, or the guide section of this group. There'll be a link somewhere in this video anyway, just so you can click on it and go to watch the videos. If you want the slides, my presentation slides, whilst I'm teaching the content, just comment slides and we'll shoot you over the slides in advance so you can have them in front of you. And that's it, guys. Just a quick walkthrough of another relationship and application timeline. Again, giving you guys some context, an idea of other couples that have been successful, what their history looked like, and how long their applications took, so that you can factor all that information in determining what you might be able to do and how long your application might take. Of course, as always, if people are interested in working with our team and with us helping them with your application, there's two ways we can do that. We can either teach and coach you to prepare your own application using our Visa software and coaching option. There's a package available on our website. All the information is there. Or, of course, there's our full representation for couples that would like us to handle the entire case like this one. That's it from me, Martin from Self Migration. Have a great day.